So there's this post on Tumblr about this story of about these people there's this mom in a mall forcing her child to get her ears pierced, even though the child really, really doesn't want her ears pierced, to the point where she's screaming like, I don't want them pierced, and then all the adults are like forcing her to do it. And then people are telling stories about this, and then it just got me kind of thinking about the way people tend to treat children. And then they're surprised when children act up as teenagers, or when people become jerks when they're older. Here's the thing. If you want your... okay, I'm not a mother, I'll admit that. But I babysit a lot, and I'm around kids, and every time I'm around kids freaking love... I don't want to be boasting or saying, look how amazing I am, I'm just teaching you stuff more than just saying, oh, look at me. But yeah, kids like me, and people are like, oh wow, you're so amazing with kids and everything else, and I mean, I'm told that by everyone who sees me with kids, pretty much. And you want to know my secret? I listen to them. That's something so many adults do not get, and parents too, is that I listen to their opinions and their ideas. They're kids. Fine, their opinions and ideas are stupid. You don't have to take them to heart, but they don't have to know that. If my little 4-year-old cousin is talking about how much this superhero is better than this superhero for whatever stupid reason, then I'm gonna listen to him and act like he's talking, and like I'm actually taking what he has to say seriously, even if I'm not. You don't actually have to take what they're saying seriously, but don't let them know into that. Because the thing is that children, what you learn as a child sticks with you your whole life. So if you learn bad habits as a child, you're gonna have bad habits as an adult, unless you have some serious intervention in the teen years, which is kind of like the last ditch effort, because that's when you're transitioning from a child to an adult. And that's another thing, people don't respect teenagers. They have ideas and everything else too, and they're learning things way younger than adults are learning things, and and the world is so much worse for them, and kids are smarter than people give them credit for. When I actually, like, these kids I babysit most is, my aunt and uncle have 5 kids, and they live near me, so I babysit them all the time. And even like for the past couple weeks, I've been like there all, like, pretty much being their nanny, like they're 8 hours a day, all like 5 days a week kind of thing. And these kids, they're smarter than people realize. They're like, oh, a cute little Kana and little Rosie, and oh, little Jordan and Jesse getting in, boys and all this other stuff. But the thing is that these kids are smart and they have ideas. And I remember the 2 youngest, the twins, that just turned 4 this weekend. And I remember it was like birthday presents and everything else. And everyone was like, so my family was like, oh, we gotta get them birthday presents and everything. And they're like, okay, so we gotta get something princessy for Rosie, and then we gotta get something, like superheroes or, typical boy, typical girl stuff. But the thing is, I spent all day with these 2, because the 3 older kids would be at day camp or whatever. And little Rosie, when we were playing dress up, she dressed up as Captain America and Spider-Man just as much, and she dressed up as those 2. And she only dressed up as a princess once. And she actually was dressing up more like animals more often. She loves, she likes princesses, fine, but that's not like her whole thing. And she has all these ideas about how babies and animals, and she loves to learn. She is a brilliant little kid. At 3 years old, she could already spell her own name, swing on the swing by herself, swim without floaties. She's this brilliant little kid, but some of my cousins think she's stupid for some freaking reason. But she has all these stories. She tells these stories, like, she'll like go on and on about this fictional story that she's telling, or like she's telling this funny story that happened to her. And I can't understand her half the time because she's like 3. Anyways, but now she's 4. She just turned 4 like yesterday. But anyways, but like, I listen to her, and then her older sister is a genius, like, holy crap. And the thing is that I see the way the rest of my family treats these amazing kids, and it's just kind of like, it's like they're nothing. But the thing is that the kids, they come running to me all the time, and the other ones are not as happy to see them. And the thing is that I can get the kids to obey me and do what they're told way easier than like some other people will. And, like, I worked at also another thing, I worked at a kid store for a year and a half, and holy crap, some of these kids, they're freaking blah, and they don't listen to anyone. Because here's the thing, monkey see, monkey do. If you teach them to listen to people and respect what they have to say by treating them like that, then what are they going to learn? that you're supposed to treat people with respect and listen to what they have to say. Because the thing is that they don't have any other experience. The family unit is the first, the family is the first social unit. That's how they learn to act in society. So if you're teaching them that what they have to say doesn't matter, and only what you have to say matters, and that's it, like only you. Because the thing is, these kids would be running around like mad, ripping apart packaging and playing with the toys, and I'd be telling them to stop that, and they wouldn't listen to me. They would only listen to their mother. But the thing is that I was raised like that too. And then when I got to be a teenager, I was like, well, fuck you, Mom. And I didn't listen to a word she said, because I was like, you know what? If you don't think my opinions matter, then your opinions don't fucking matter. Because that's how you get, like, really shitty teenagers, is treating kids like shit because the thing is that as a kid, they don't know any better. But then as they become teenagers and they become more socially aware and, starting to mature and everything else, they realize, and then they become more observant of other people's lifestyles and realize, you know what? I don't have to take this shit anymore. Because also, another thing that people mistake about teenagers, like I see this happen all the time, is that this is the one phrase I hate, and it was said to me, and it was said to my sister, and my sister's friends have had it said to them. Fine, you want to be an adult, then you're on your own, or something to that effect. Why is it parents can't understand that teenagers are transitioning from being totally dependent children to being independent adults? They are neither dependent nor independent. They're somewhere in the middle. You don't go from being completely dependent to completely independent overnight. You have to transition to it. You have to figure it out. Teenagers, they do and they don't know what they want, because they know what they want, they just don't know how to explain it. And the thing is that they're trying to get independence, but the thing is that they're still dependent because they don't know how to do things on their own yet, because they're young. They don't have the experience. They have less than 20 years of life ever. So they don't know. They're going to make mistakes. They don't understand. And it can be frustrating, sure. But the thing is that if you treat them, if everything is black and white with you and no leeway and no understanding and no listening to them, because I hear this thing, it's so stupid. Parents will be like, they don't freaking listen to me, or it's like, they don't tell me what's wrong. I wish they would just talk to me. Well, if you're saying that after teaching them that they can't tell you shit their whole lives, because keep that in mind, the way you're treating them as a child, and then they get to be like 13, 14, their whole lives is how you've been, like, that's all they know about you. Their whole experience with you is that you don't listen to them. So there's no point in telling you anything. And I think, my mom talks to me as if I'm her friend and not her parent, and when I was working, I got, it's funny because the last couple of years when, the young adult thing, 'cause I'm 21 now, but, the whole, for being, 18 to 20, that kind of age, I learned so much, and I was giving so much insight because I had just come out from being a teenager, so I remembered what it was like. But I was an adult now, and all these adults were talking to me like I was an adult and not a teenager anymore. So I could see it from both people's point of view, and I realized where the error, where the misunderstanding or the thing that's causing all the fights was happening. And another thing that people don't understand about teenagers is that they're trying to they have all these crazy things going on. They go from being a kid, playing all day, everything's, simple, to I have weird feelings for people, and everything's weird, and I'm growing hair in weird places, all the fun of puberty, plus all those hormones going through them, and the fact that this is the first time they're feeling them, all of their emotions are turned up to 10 billion. They're not, they can be thinking rationally, and you should pay attention, because teenagers, their minds are processing at a faster rate than adults, because adults, their brains don't. Okay, the whole 10% of your brain myth? It actually comes from adults only use about 10 to 16% of the neurons at any one time. Now, that one time could be like a millisecond, but use your whole brain. But the reason why you don't use that few neurons at any one time is because, you need to, I think I've explained this before, it's to conserve energy, because despite the brain only taking 2% of your body mass, it uses 20% of your whole consumed energy through sleep and food and whatnot. Kids and teenagers, it's like 50%. Their brains are processing way faster, so they can make connections faster, and they haven't had all these ideas taught and ingrained in them, so they can think outside the box a lot easier. So I came up with a lot of my best ideas as a teenager, and then people are always like, wow, you're so insightful. I'm like, that shit came from when I was a teenager more than when I was an adult. I am an adult. I just became an adult, so it's just weird. Anyways, so teenagers have good ideas a lot of the time. You just gotta listen to them. Just because someone's young doesn't mean that they're stupid. In fact, kids are learning more. So like someone with a high school degree from 2 years ago or 20 years ago, the 2 years ago is going to know more because they learned. Because I remember when I was in grade 9 learning science stuff, my mom was like, I didn't learn that until like grade 12 or grade 13 because I used to have that, not anymore. Anyways, and she was like, what the hell? And like my sister is learning stuff that I learned in grade 10 in grade 8, and I'm like, what the hell? So they're constantly learning stuff sooner and sooner, so they're smart. They have ideas. And if you treat them like human beings, they're going to treat everyone else like human beings, because you got to teach them how to act through example. And if they learn, I like being treated this way. I don't want to make other people feel like shit, so I'm going to treat them that way. Or if they learn, well, that's just the way life is, it sucks, get used to it. They're not going to want to change themselves to be a better person and treat other people with more respect. It's such a simple concept, yet no one gets it. And sorry for the really long video, but I had a lot to say. Thanks for watching.